Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I am back to cast this epic, in the words of the uploader to drop.sc. What's the word I'm looking for? Epic replay between both of them. I'm not going to give away too many details, but of course, let's just wait, stand by, and see where things go from here. Alright, so spawning is our Protoss in the upper right hand corner. I am now going to introduce to you TreantGamer. Looks like he entered the game as a random. Zane wants to know what race he's playing. And in the lower left-hand corner, our Terran, and I think the guy who uploaded it to drop.sc, BillyZane. Belongs to the R3S clan. And the map we're on today is Daybreak LE. I do want to point out for just a short... Oh no, crud. Well, I guess that wasn't too critical, but I do want to point out for just a moment that... this map is kind of open-ended, and we see in the early to mid-game, Protoss does have quite a few calamities to worry about, be it through Hellion run-bys or drops in the main. And of course, when I say Hellion run-bys, this place is actually rather wide open. The Hellions could come either through this route, and then zip down here. And it seems to be an interesting comment. Judas Priest. From Zane? It says music. Okay, well, it's a little interesting. It looks like I'm actually playing with my setup for laddering on. I'm just going to correct that real quick. Sorry about that, guys. Huh. Well, it looks like I can't correct it for whatever reason. So we're just going to leave it that way. Okay, so... both players smiling. Looks like this is going to be an epic game. Both of them in a rather good mood. But of course, this is one of those longer replays. I don't know exactly how long it is, but according to the uploader, well, I'm not gonna give anything away. Let's just leave it at that. That ruins the element of surprise. And with no surprise, you know, you basically have, I don't know, you have a cast that everybody's waiting to tell as a story, but at the same time, competitive gaming cannot exist without the casuals, which is why I'm here casting this right now. I myself would not consider myself casual, but at the same time I'm not good enough to actually be a Masters League player, so here we go. And I'm not pro either, so let's just say I play too much. SCV is going to come in here from BillyZane, and he's going to see that there's an expo going down. Yes, he did see that as he's going into the main. Just gonna see if both gases have been taken or not. He does know that one has been taken for sure. Double gas on an expo? Well, let's just say that's pretty difficult to do at the same time as throwing down your Nexus. That typically doesn't work out. Interesting location for a pylon. Perhaps we're going to see some kind of tech hidden over here. Just the position of the pylon leads me to believe that. You know, it's in that location that's actually, like, if you get a scan down here, it's not gonna give away too much info, and it looks like a Marine here got away with a probe kill. How disastrous for that little guy. Now we do see that Zane is using the new skins for the Marines. I'm not a fan of using the new skins myself. I'm not sure if they are allowed to be turned on by default or not, but Zane actually going with a single gas expo, or excuse me, not a single gas, not even a single gas is what I meant to say. He went racks first into a command center, and now he's got a few barracks. Perhaps his aim is to put on some pressure, but of course for now we're going to see these Marines just parked right here waiting for any stalkers that come by. And there's the mothership core, very standard timing for it. Looks like we have double gas going down, just finishing up actually for BillyZane. As you can see here with the amount of gas that's been harvested, it's actually... I don't want to say late, but he's got a plan behind this. I think he's probably gearing up for some kind of a harassment timing. But this is rather interesting. We have the probe coming over here, and we see Protoss floating about 400-ish minerals. Never mind. Oh, what is going to happen here, Mr. TreantGamer? There it is, a third base coming down at 548. Tech lab up now for BillyZane. He immediately goes into researching Stimpack. and here's a pylon. By the way, guys, I do apologize for the static that's in the background. If you guys would so kindly, since we got some filler time, both players macroing up, could you guys do me a huge favor and just click on the subscribe button below this video? Should be underneath my name as well, but, what was it? Back to the game itself. I'm trying to think here. Alright. Forge going down right now for TreantGamer. Another Forge already. This is actually, you know, towards the mid to late game, if we don't see Protoss with a sufficient economy, this can actually put them in a somewhat detrimental position, as we do see that they go heavy on upgrades, both armor and, what's the word I'm looking for? Both armor and attack. It can be a bit of a detriment because we see that just the army production for Protoss cannot keep up with the army production of Terran. And what happens is essentially the Marauders and the Marines, they just, you know, they're ranged units, and because of all the gas that's going into upgrades, typically we see a deficiency in Stalkers, Sentries, that kind of thing. And hopefully that won't be the case with TreantGamer, as he did already take an early third. He has a higher worker count than BillyZane right now. It's probably what he's... There we go. It's probably what he's, what's the word I'm looking for? Gearing up for. So I think he's going to be ready for the mid to late game. But let's just see how this goes. Alright. So double gas going down at the natural. Gas getting tacked on at the main as well. More pylons going down. It looks like these could be defensive. There is, of course... Oh, by the way, I thought I missed that. The Twilight Council is already finished up. Question is, are we going to see charge first or blink? I'm leaning more towards charge than blink, but I could always be wrong. Alright. Or perhaps even a tech up into DTs. That is entirely possible. But of course, we already have a missile turret here from BillyZane, and I'm just a little astounded at how little information Billy has on Trent, but he's moving out right now, and at the same time we see Trent is actually throwing down a sneaky pylon. Probe's going to go in here at the third location and see that there is nothing there. There's probably even nothing on the way, and he's going to go into the natural and see that nothing is there either, and basically he's been signaled to the fact that his opponent now is moving and basically barking at his natural. Looks like we have BillyZane ready to just move back, and if we check the army sizes right now, you know, we see TreantGamer is actually in a really dangerous position. He's got to get some more units out. He's putting Chrono Boost on his gateways. He knows what's up now, and he's only got 4 gateways and 5 more on the way, so this is actually a bit of a dangerous timing. Beautiful time warp, but unfortunately it looks like the Mothership core does fall there. Charge is on the way, and we're going to see, I think, a good deal of these Stalkers fall. Yes, and defensive force field going down. And interestingly enough, it seems that BillyZane's focus is not on the natural. There are only 2 medevacs here, so every time we see the army stim, we actually see BillyZane getting just a little bit weaker. It looks like for the time being he's not going to target down the Nexus, but he's trying to get as many workers as he can while maintaining a stim. Again, only 2 medevacs here, and it looks like he will successfully snipe the third. Let's see how many workers were there, lost there. 14. Excuse me, that wasn't the third, that was the natural. There is, of course, a third that BillyZane is not accounting for, which is actually what's working against him the most. Meanwhile, we see that TreantGamer is actually floating a good deal of minerals. Charge is now finished, and a lot of these Marines may not be able to hold against this. That is a huge army. You know, the Marines here are only 0-1, and the Zealots are 1-1, and it looks like the rest of the army of BillyZane is just going to pick up, lift off, and go back home. Empty medevac is the only one that's actually in a dangerous position right now, and this could actually... Oh, it's so close to spotting that assimilator. If it actually saw the assimilator, then Trent would actually be in a bit more trouble. Here we go. It looks like the rest of the main forces of BillyZane are going to pick up and lift off. Zane must be aware now that something is up. And behind this we see TreantGamer is going for a double expo. The Zealots kind of trying to run down here, and it looks like they're going to get a prevention on the third. There it is. It gets canceled, and it lifts up. And all the Zealots are going to pull back home. Meanwhile, the main force is regrouping at the natural. Lots of Marauders here, so the Zealots are going to get... Basically, if they try to engage here, they're going to get... What's the word I'm looking for? They're going to eat a bunch of slow puffs. And by slow puffs, I mean concussive shells from Marauders. And looks like the medevac actually did not catch onto this third. It did catch onto this fourth here for TreantGamer. And I think if he attacks now, he might be in a good position. If we check the army supplies right now, he is still at double supply of his opponent. And all these zealots are getting thrown away without a chance to get back home. What about this last zealot here? Oh, even he doesn't get back home. So now we just see, you know, BillyZane is basically dominating over here. The 4th did get canceled, unfortunately. Natural going back up, and it looks like, you know, BillyZane, he's actually got a good lead right now, a significant one at that. Planetary Fortress going down here now instead of an orbital command. And both players just kind of breaking away for now. But, you know, so far, I want to say that the economic lead we have from, let's see, from Trent has actually been significant, considering that he had this 3rd down here. It's now being spotted, and we see Terran heading into it, and of course we have to see Trent now react to it. And the Zealots are getting pulled in. The Archon back here is going to get a lot of kills from the AoE. Feedback's going down on the medevacs, and it looks like whatever BillyZane is doing, he's not keeping an eye on what's actually here right now. Bunch of Marauders back here just ready to kite anything that may warp in relatively soon. I think is he oblivious to this pylon? That's one of the most obvious places to put it, really. You know, Daybreak LE, so commonly played a map now that people are, you know, it's like if you don't know where the forward pylons are, where the sneaky pylons are, then, you know, it's just not good for you. And, I don't see, let's check the tech up. Do we have a Ghost Academy anywhere around here? It looks like we do not. So we actually see BillyZane is in a spot where he is likely to get in trouble. We do have Storm finishing up over here at this location, and a lot of Zealots and a lot of Stalkers here. I want to say that the Zealots can basically act in the way that Force Fields would. That is, it keeps the units from moving forward, but of course they, you know, and the damage that they do is actually just a little bit limited. And it looks like we have TreantGamer not really taking, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not taking his gas just yet. But we do have a triple medevac drop ready to come in, and there's a cannon back here. They were focusing down the medevac, but now they are focusing down the Marines and the Marauders, and we're going to see... Oh, no. Wait, what is the reaction from TreantGamer? He actually doesn't have a way to deal with that adequately, and it looks like this Zealot here is actually being microed to deal with... what's the word I'm looking for? To deal with that mule, and that's it. You know, and finally we have everything coming back here for TreantGamer. 30 probes lost over the course of this game, and it looks like the Marines and the Marauders are actually more focused on the economy of TreantGamer than the main army. If we check the army supplies right now, we still see that BillyZane is just massively ahead. All the cannons were dealt with. I'm thinking that basically BillyZane, or excuse me, TreantGamer, the entire reason why he didn't pull his main army up there was because he was under the impression that it was just going to be 1 or 2 medevacs. 3rd one really coming into play, taking a lot of damage. And if it was 2 medevacs, then I think one of them would have been destroyed before any of the Marines or Marauders hit the ground there. If you guys just want to go back and look at the micro, the way it panned out, and so on and so forth. And now we have, you know, just TreantGamer. He's so far behind right now. He's on 4 base, keeping up with his opponent in economy for the most part, except for the fact that he does not have mules. BillyZane just parking his army right here, getting ready for another offensive, and it looks like this Zealot is still alive, and just being a general pestilence to BillyZane. He's focusing down the workers, and really just delaying the infrastructure quite effectively. It looks like the Marines and the Marauders not quite catching on to it, just now getting ready to clean that up, and there's a lot of Zealots in this composition. Slow-moving Zealots, unpowered gateways in the main. You know, I don't think we're gonna... This is one of the biggest deficiencies we see from TreantGamer right now. He's just not adequately dealing with the damage that he's taken, and it's gonna mean that his production is gonna suffer as well. I'm not sure if he is perfectly aware of it, but let's see how many High Templar there are right now. If we go to units, there are 11 altogether. Some of them went into the main, and they are just now being pulled forward. And once again, it looks like we still have no ghosts in the composition, not even so much as a Ghost Academy being put down. The one thing that you know, and we just see BillyZane at 200. If he can hold, oh no. I think he's going to split his army, go for like a Doom Drop. No, he's just going to go straight up for a Doom Drop. And now we actually see TreantGamer in a lot of trouble. You know, a lot of His tech structures are going to be destroyed here, especially his production. Look at the gateways. You know, they're just falling left and right. We need to see him tack on more while simultaneously dealing with this drop, and his economy is just going to go to shreds in all of this. The question is, how's he going to hold? That is those are beautiful sets of storms right there. The Zealots, Marines just chasing down everything. These medevacs need to be feedbacked. It looks like we have Trent basically willing to kill his own army to get away with killing his opponent's army. Now both players are relatively low supply, and TreantGamer is just eating more and more trouble from his opponent. Meanwhile, we have another attack coming down here at the 4th base for TreantGamer. You know, just the Marines and the Marauders doing their damage, doing their worst. And it looks like it will be dealt with, but not without at least a little bit of trouble. We have some Archons morphing from the High Templar that had no energy. There's still 2 left for some storms or feedbacks. And we see more and more gateways being tacked on yet again. And BillyZane is just going to triumph over this for the next few minutes. He's going to have the economy to deal with this, but he needs to get some ghosts out. You know, I can't say that enough. And here we go. We finally have a Ghost Academy. Are we going to see nukes? Maybe, just maybe. And I'm going to have to be aware of just where to click if we do see nukes. Hang on, since it's in production still. Oh, 2 Ghost Academies. So that means, you know, this either means double research or we're going to see nukes in production. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see nukes. Meanwhile, it looks like some harass going down over here. It was a medevac. And I don't think they got a lot of probe kills out of this. Storm's going down to deal with them. More and more gateways being tacked on, so it looks like we have basically TreantGamer really committing to what he's got. He's like, oh, look at how many minerals I'm floating. That's 2,000. That's enough for 20 stalkers. Now here we go. We do have BillyZane coming down from the south path. And he's only got a handful of medevacs in here. They both get immediately feedbacked. And he needs to throw down some storms. Those are more important, I feel, than destroying the medevacs. And oh boy, here we go. DT is getting warped in, but they immediately get turned into Archons. There are no scans here, so I think maybe just keeping 1 or 2 of them there would have been an okay idea. Storm's going down, and now we see BillyZane is kind of retreating. He's got nothing but a bunch of red health forces, and it looks like the Nexus is actually in a bit of trouble here, but he's actually more concerned with the mineral line, just A-moving into it. And now we have TreantGamer at 88 supply, as opposed to his opponent's 150, and DT comes in here and deals with everything that was there. 6 kills on that hero, DT. Excellent job. You have the Blessings of Zeratul. Pylon going down here. Planetary Fortress is going to get morphed very soon. I just wish he knows about that. He knows about that Planetary Fortress. And it looks like the Pylon is going to be taken down relatively soon. Trent, you know, BillyZane, he's kind of catching on to this a little bit slowly, but, you know, I think even I would make that mistake. Meanwhile, it looks like we have the 5th base for TreantGamer going down. Planetary Fortress just finished up there, so it looks like we're going to have a lot of damage dealt out. And, here we go. BillyZane marching his army forward. Photon Overcharge being called down on that Nexus, and I don't know what's going to happen here. DT still alive, getting some kills, and Storm's going down left and right. Beautiful Storms! It's absolutely obliterating the main army of BillyZane. And this DT is coming in to clean up the mess. My god, he's got, like, it looks like 14 kills now, so that DT has basically paid for himself in the amount of army that he has killed so far. But of course, the drop down in the main, that's one way to annoy the heck out of your opponent. Gateway being targeted down, biggest mistake, but now the Dark Shrine is being targeted down. So we're not going to see any DTs for at least 100 seconds. Templar Archives is also being targeted down here. If he loses this, that would be huge. And he does. DT coming in to deal with this, killing a few Marauders, and the Marauders just stimming, putting themselves in lower health, so now they're all virtually one shot. Medevac picking them up, taking them to a different location. Zealots coming in here, just like, where's the action? You know, I heard there was a party here. Meanwhile, it looks like we have some Zealots being thrown away by TreantGamer. High Templars far behind, not far behind them, excuse me. And both armies are gonna get ready to rumble. No storms going down just yet from TreantGamer. Let's see how this goes. Ooh, beautiful storms, but some DTs getting caught out in the open, and now we see the main army of BillyZane in about yellow and blue health. Meanwhile, there's a drop going down here, but the DT cleans it up. 18 kills, master DT. I want to say that we should see some harass going down more and more, left and right, everywhere in between, but it's just not happening. It's like with what we see from TreantGamer, it's just not possible. You could probably go into Void Race. Wait a minute. I'm trying to think here. Okay, never mind. Okay, DT coming back here. At first I thought this was Wings of Liberty because I noticed most of these players were... I just thought to myself, maybe it's Wings of Liberty because of the music, but I remember earlier I actually saw a Mothership core being used, so yeah. And other than the Mothership core, everything here seems to be Wings of Liberty style. We have the Twilight Council being put back down by TreantGamer, and he's just so far behind, really. There's no other way to say it. Personal cloaking now being researched for ghosts. Are there any ghosts in the composition? Let's stop and look for a moment. There are not currently, and now we actually see TreantGamer in a bit of trouble. DT coming in here, trying to clean up what it can, now with about 19 kills, going on 20. Still hasn't been spotted, and geez, where on earth are the Marines? Oh my god, where on earth are the Zealot reinforcements that we're going to need? We had 2 cannons on the way, and it looks like they got cancelled. We do see that BillyZane is now opting to give up this expo. He's going to have to pull the probes off. Excuse me, not Billy, but TreantGamer is actually opting to give up this expo. Here we go. BillyZane is actually at 200-200. If he just continues to non-stop push into this, and he will be good to go. But let's see where this goes. Cybernetics core is being taken down again. That means now the only thing that we can see in production, whether that's even possible to produce presently, would be nothing but Zealots. We do have a bunch of Archons here, however. They will basically deal with these Marines and Marauders quite adequately. And it looks like the 5th base is actually under siege here. Just a minute. Probes getting pulled off the line, and we see that TreantGamer is probably just barely going to be able to hold here. More and more Zealots warping in. Zealot Archon, very good mix for mostly bio forces from your opponent, but of course getting storms in there as well would also be beautiful. You need that AoE. Meanwhile, we see that BillyZane opted to take the 6 o'clock expo. And TreantGamer is on, like, I don't know what it would be for income, but basically just shards right now of minerals. 1,000 per minute. He needs to re-expo over here. He doesn't have enough economy to actually keep up with his opponent. And, you know, I mean, it's just difficult, but TreantGamer is actually staring down the throat of defeat right now. Staring into the jaws of it. You know, he's got a few untapped units, a DT in the main. And, oh, this is a double medvac drop that he's just running right by, but it's going to get cleaned up, and that's going to alleviate about 14 to 20 supply. Cannon deals with it, and it looks like, I don't know, was that a feedback I saw just a moment ago? Possibly. Now, here we go. He's actually willing to move in and kill this 6 o'clock base. Storm going down immediately on the mineral line. Dealing with quite a few SCVs, and, ooh, that's actually the first time I've seen significant economic damage done by TreantGamer this game so far. Just killed the planetary fortress, but unfortunately it looks like BillyZane's just going to move in and a move into this 5th. We do have units warping in, High Templar, and they don't have enough energy for storms, so it wasn't the best choice, but at the same time you can't really blame him. 5th base does fall for TreantGamer, and BillyZane really needs to like kind of open his eyes and become conscious of just what his opponent has. He does have a Ghost Academy, but he's not integrating ghosts with his army. There are none out on the map. Just look here in the units tab, guys. I'm almost a little disappointed at this game. I thought it would be much more exciting than this, but here we go. It looks like the Marauders and the Marines are getting cleaned up more than adequately. Of course, we have Protoss at 3-3-1, and Terran just getting cleaned up with 3-3. You know, I mean, adding ghosts into the mix actually makes your composition just that much stronger, because your opponent cannot use Storm if the EMPs connect correctly. The Archons are dealt with 1 or 2 EMPs, like their shields go off completely. Back in the Brood War days, it only took 1 EMP to do that. But here we go. Miss rally by BillyZane. His income right now is just skyrocketing over his opponent presently, and it looks like these Archons are going to be chased away because they don't have what it takes to really deal with these many Marauders. Looks like they do turn back at the last second, trying to deal out some damage, but of course this is just going to be an infinite kite fest if it keeps going like this. Here we go, 104 supply, TreantGamer versus BillyZane's 170 supply. Beautiful storms by TreantGamer, and the Archons are trying to go forward as much as possible. There's still leftover storms, and TreantGamer's just looking for the appropriate opportunity to use them. Now we see the main army just being chased back. Oh, wow, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. Main army was actually being chased back by TreantGamer. And more High Templar are warping in. I'm not entirely sure why, because they don't have enough energy for any feedbacks. Probes being pulled, and looks like they're going to try and... well, they're being A-moved right now. And is that a hero probe? It is a hero probe. He was willing to take one for the team. Meanwhile, we have the main army of TreantGamer trying to move forward into this planetary fortress location, but if we check army supplies right now, it actually seems like they're relatively even between both players, because so much of the supply of BillyZane is actually tied up in workers, and some of them I would say are actually idle right now, not even working at all. Archon with 8 kills, looks like he got kind of pulled back, and he's trying to do some damage, gets 9 kills before he is taken down, and now we look, you know, this is basically staring at the face of defeat right now for TreantGamer. He doesn't have any more expos. His income, this is like the last base that he has, and it's the most dangerous location to take because it's in such a forward location. And now we have the 4th for BillyZane. Oh my god! Basically up, running, and oversaturated. Storms going down everywhere, even on the Archons. Not doing too much damage to them, but of course the Archons coming back here and dealing out some damage on the Marauders, Marines. The Medevacs. Medevac gets shot down, so it's kind of a small victory for BillyZane. And if you want to look at the army supply right now, it actually seems like we have BillyZane in a not so favorable position. He is cranking out units 3 at a time. He's got the better income, no doubt, but he's just floating so much gas. What you should be doing at this stage in the game, guys, is and it looks like TreantGamer actually came up here to see if there's an expo. He does know that it's there now. This one is kind of due to be mined semi-soon. Honestly, right now, though, I mean, with the amount of production that we see from BillyZane, I think this is going to be one of the final pushes relatively soon. Some Zealots basically warped in here, trying to take care of this expo. The SCV's coming in to repair. Main army still just kind of idle back home here. Zealots focusing down the planetary fortress is not the best idea, but it looks like they're going to try and go for some SCV kills. It's not the greatest idea, considering that he'll be able to call down some mules relatively soon, and the workers killed is actually going up just a little bit, 42 to 100. So over the course of this entire game, 42 workers have been killed for TreantGamer. TreantGamer moving to the middle of the map is like, okay, great, I gotta do what I can to deal with that player's, or the income off of that base that he's making. Kind of splitting his units just a bit. This is always dangerous on this map, but it looks like his main goal is actually to throw down some storms over here on top of this planetary fortress. That means he won't have any for the main army, which is moving out right here at this location. And, you know, I want to say, there we go, just as I say it, I actually see it in production. 6 storms went off. Absolutely sick. Not 6, just sick. But here we go. Archon's being dealt with, and there's only 2 left, and this one falls. And now we see the final income, final base with income, getting taken down by BillyZane, just as TreantGamer calls out GG. Alright guys, thanks for watching. This has been Breaker. If you guys enjoyed what you saw today, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. That would be below this video, and it would be below my name, which is just below this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.